Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video. So in this one I'm going to be using the blast furnace to test out profit rates of different bars. Basically all bars besides gold are quite profitable to do with the blast furnace, and there was an update today where the blast furnace is automated by NPCs, so you no longer need to rely on other players, and it's not crashable, and it's easy to just do it non-stop with no delays, no interruptions or anything like that, and make a lot of money. So I did a bit of testing this morning already with Runite, and I'm going to show some footage of all the different bars that you can make there, because 85 smithing is kind of a high requirement, but Runite is probably the best profit per hour and XP per hour, but you can make profit with any bars, steel up to Runite. So you only need like 30 smithing or something to make steel, and you can make pretty good profit per hour just making steel bars. So about 500 of each type of ore for the bars that I'm going to make, and I'm going to go down there, see how long it takes, like how it works out to bars per hour for each one of them. I'm assuming that I'll make more bars per hour with lower level ones and fewer with higher level ones, since higher level ones use more coal. And I'll work out the profit rates with current prices, and we'll see how it all works out to be. I imagine that profit margins might close a little bit if this becomes something that a lot more people do, but it's hard to say exactly. The profit margins on rune ore and bars haven't really changed too much throughout the day, though bars have gone down a little bit. But the ores have stayed pretty consistent price, and coal has only budged maybe 3-4 GP, so not too bad yet. As far as gear, I'm just going to wear the best weight reduction that I can, so I have graceful top, legs, or hood, top and legs, boots of lightness. I have the ice gloves because you can use those to collect bars from the dispenser even if it is not cooled down, which is nice, so you don't need to use buckets of water. And my max cape gives me extra storage spaces in my coal bag, because that's the perk of the smithing cape. So I will be using that in this video. Possibly the profit rates will be a little bit lower, since you might not be able to make quite as many bars per hour without the extra slots in the coal bag, but it's only a few, so it shouldn't make a massive difference. Easiest way to get to blast furnace is just to use the minigame teleport there. I think you have to at least start one of the dwarven quests to be able to go there, but the requirements are pretty low. You can do it on a level 3 account, so you can be doing this pretty quickly. It probably didn't mean to join that CC. You can probably do it pretty easily as an alt, though it isn't really very AFKable, so you can only do it while doing more AFK things on your main. So the only world where this is in effect is world 58, which is the official blast furnace world. So if you want to use the blast furnace effectively, you're going to have to do it on this world, and there's a coffer over here, and you have to deposit coins in the coffer because it does cost 60k GP per hour to do this, which is a pretty nominal fee for the amount of profit per hour you can make, but it is bringing a little bit of gold out of the game, which I guess is a good thing. It's probably bringing a lot more gold into the game through alchable items than out, but it's still something. But yeah, I'm going to need to put some more coins in this coffer. So one of the most important items to have here is a coal bag. It stores 27 pieces of coal if you don't have a smithing cape, and if you do, it stores up to 36 pieces of coal. So having a smithing cape could be beneficial. I'm not actually sure whether it would really increase your XP or profit per hour that much, though, because in order to store more than 27 coal in the bag, you have to open up the bank interface again and withdraw more coal and fill it up, and then open the interface again to withdraw more coal after that. So it slows down your trips a little bit. I haven't really worked it out whether it's actually faster, but if it is faster, it probably isn't a very big difference. Another thing that you definitely will need is stamina potions, so use up some of these throughout the time that you spend here, because you're going to be running back and forth with heavy ores and heavy bars, so you definitely need to be using those to be getting the best profit and XP rates. And the other thing I'm going to use is bank fillers, so I'm going to fill my bank with these things, which you can do by opening up the menu here, and that way, say I have a full inventory of something and I want to keep my coal bag, I can press this and it empties without depositing the bag, which just is a little bit more convenient, so I'm going to go with that. But I'm going to start off with the steel bars, see how long it takes me to make 500, and work out some profit rates from there. So with the steel bars, it took me about 7.5 minutes to make 500 bars, and these numbers will be a little bit rough just because it is kind of short samples, but we'll get a general idea, and if you decide to actually grind it out, you'll figure out more for yourself. But these numbers should be within probably around 10k or so of the accurate XP rates, and probably should be within like 100k or so of the accurate GP per hour, which gives pretty good estimates. So yeah, it took me about 7.5 minutes to make 500 steel bars. With current prices, they're about 290 GP profit. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the blast furnace does use half the amount of coal that a normal furnace does, and that's mainly where the profit comes from, because making all these bars at a regular furnace I think costs money, but using half the coal makes them profitable. So yeah, with current prices, it's about 290 GP profit per steel bar, and if it takes 7.5 minutes to make 500, then you're making 4,000 per hour, which works out to be about 1.1 mil profit per hour, subtracting the 60k GP. So 1.1 mil profit an hour for something you can do at level 30 smithing. You do need to have the coal bag to get rates that high, but still, I mean, even without it, you could probably make at least 500k an hour for like a basically zero requirement method. You just need to do the Knight Sword and start some dwarf quests basically, and you can be doing this for really good profit. So that's pretty crazy. I didn't think that steel bars would be quite that high, but they're very good. In terms of XP per hour, at that rate it would be 70k XP per hour in smithing, which is pretty decent, especially like it's probably one of the best rates you can get at level 30 anyways. So definitely at least like 50 to 70k per hour for these as well. So next up are the mithril bars, and it took me about 8.5 minutes to make 500 mithril bars, and this actually was pretty surprising to me because these might actually be the highest XP per hour out of the profitable bars you can do at Blast Furnace. I'm not sure, we'll find out with the other ones in a few minutes, but at that rate it averages to about 105k XP per hour in smithing, which is really quite good. The profit is actually lower than steel bars though, only about 900k profit per hour with mithril, so I guess it's a higher XP, lower profit trade-off type of deal, but still very nice profit, basically nearly 1 mil an hour, and over 100k XP per hour is really quite good for making mithril bars. With the Addy bars it took me about 13 minutes to make 500 bars, and at that rate it would be about 2.3k bars per hour, which is about 85k XP per hour, and once again about 1.1 mil an hour profit, so pretty much the same profit per hour as steel, but better XP per hour, so that's always good. And better XP, well, better profit but worse XP than mithril. And finally, the rune bars took me about 15 minutes to make 500, so at that rate you'd make 2,000 bars per hour, which is 100k smithing XP per hour, so slightly lower than mithril, interestingly enough, though maybe it'd be, I mean, it's pretty much the same and the profit is definitely better. You make around 700 to 750 GP per bar with current prices, so that puts it at around 1.4 mil profit per hour making rune bars and about 100k XP per hour, so 1.4 mil profit an hour for something that is a fairly easy requirement to get in terms of time. I mean, if you get to 85 smithing just doing Blast Furnace, it would take you maybe 30 to 40 hours, which isn't too bad, and the whole, like 30 to 40 hours if you're profiting, and only maybe 10 hours or so if you're doing gold ore until 85. So that's significantly faster to get than say like 80, even 82 or 91 rune crafting even, for fairly similar profit rates. So you can make good money from smithing, you just do it in World 58. The only downside of the Blast Furnace update is that the furnace can still become damaged and players have to repair it. It's just that the NPCs are running the various machines that run the furnace itself. So it's not crashable or anything, but you do still rely on players a little bit, so if you really wanted to optimize your rates over time, you might want to consider just taking another account in there at the same time and using that account to repair the things whenever they go down while still maintaining efficiency on your main account. But if you do choose to do runite bars 85 to 99 smithing, you'll make around 140 mil profit, which is quite nice in comparison to the probably close to the same amount, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 80 to 100 mil that you'd probably be spending with current prices of gold ore to get to 99 at a faster rate. So it really depends on how you value your money and whether you play alts and stuff, whether this is actually worth doing. But I guess that for a lot of people, we would definitely consider it worth all the profit that you can make from this. And if you did for 200 mil, you'd make upwards of 3 bill profit doing rune bars, which is quite a bit of money. But yeah, I just want to make a video showing how good the Blast Furnace really is and showing that it is a very viable profit scaling method that is still fairly decent for XP per hour. It's kind of like an alternative to rune crafting in a way. I mean, you're getting like a third of the max efficient rate doing rune bars for good profit, and I guess with runecrafting you're getting like half of the max efficient rate if you're doing profit RC, but either way, you know, it's pretty nice for non-alt users and just a nice way to profit in general while skilling. So thank you guys for watching the video, hope you found it interesting, and I will see you guys all later.